So I just want to do a quick review of the Pilot Kakuno fountain pen. That's Kakuno. This is maybe a $12 fountain pen. That's sort of meant to be like an entry level or like kind of like your first ever fountain pen. I picked it up just because it seems like it's very popular and it's obviously a great price point. It's got some cool features. As for the packaging, it's very simple, plastic kind of blister pack. Comes with one refill. It is black in this case, B for black. This is just the instructions. They're in Japanese. Not much to see here except here's what you get: the pen, the cartridge, the little case thing, and then it just outlines some of the features. Mainly here you can see there's a triangular grip, which is makes it easier to hold at the section piece. And then you can see here there's a little smiley face on the nib, which we'll get into in a second. As for the other instructions, probably not super helpful, but if you're new to fountain pens, you could use the diagrams to figure out how to use either the converter, which you're gonna have to buy aftermarket, or the cartridge, which pops right in. The pen comes in a whole bunch of different color schemes, which is one of the nicer things about it. I got this handsome orange and gray. It has a clear demonstrator, though it's harder to find, and then like a lot of pastel colors in the nib, and then usually white in the back, but I thought this one was pretty sharp. Features are pretty sparse, no clip, but it does have an anti-roll piece right here. So it will not roll, although it will tend to spin. I don't know if that is a pro or a con, but it's worth noting. Has a little grip area right here, which it's not a screw-off cap, it's a pop-off cap. I will note that there are holes here and holes at the end. So if you are thinking about converting this to an eyedropper, it's not really possible unless you were to seal those holes. Entire body is plastic, the cap is plastic, but I think it actually looks pretty cool for being a plastic pen. It actually feels fairly nice. You know, for a $10 pen, I've been quite happy with this. The bottom is transparent, or translucent rather, so you could sort of see some of the ink action going there. You can't really tell the fill status, but I guess if you look really closely, you might be able to sort of see it. As for the nib, let's see if we can get zoomed in on the nib. Stainless steel, quite sparse, just a thin plastic backing. But the cool feature is it has that little smiley face there, which is like just a nice little addition. You know, the company clearly cares about the products they make, so you see the nib. It's a fairly stiff steel nib. I'll do some writing in a second, but you know, you don't really get a lot of like fountain pen type feel from it. But it definitely, obviously, is a fountain pen. Again, it's a steel nib, full plastic body. Opening it up, I've been using it with that Pilot cartridge. What you could do is you could buy a converter. I think this is called a Con 40, Converter 40, and this would slip right in here, and then you could kind of fill it up with this mechanism here, and you can provide your own ink, which is nice. Generally speaking, I like the Pilot ink. I think they do a nice job. Obviously, cartridges are just very small, and you gotta keep a bunch with you, blah, blah, blah. Day to day, I've enjoyed carrying the pen with me. Has a nice feel to it. You could spin it if you want. That's generally not a good idea with a fountain pen, although I haven't had any leakage issues. It is a consistent writer, so that's good. And let's just do a quick demo. And worth pointing out that this is the fine, and you can see that right here, that little F on the nib. I usually buy mediums for this one. It's sold in an extra fine, and a medium, so I picked up the fine just to switch things up a little bit. And the fine is nice, but it's definitely a little scratchy. I already did some samples here. Here's a Pilot Metropolitan medium in that Sailor Kiwaguro Nano ink, which is quite fun. Pilot Varsity pen. This is a super old one. And now I'll be writing with the So I don't know if you could tell, but there's a little bit of scratchiness. Some people would call it feedback, some people would call it scratchiness. I think it kind of is like a pretty fine line between the two with this pen. It definitely has a lot of feedback, and depending on your paper, you sometimes feel like you're picking up a little bit of the paper. So next time I'd probably go with the medium. But as for fine, I actually do enjoy writing with this one. You can see there's not a lot of line variation. It's like a stiff nib, and you can get a little bit, but you're like applying a lot of pressure at that point. So reverse writing is pretty good, but it generally is just a pen you're gonna do day-to-day writing with, and like it doesn't really push on the fountain pen type qualities, which is one of the best and worst parts about this pen. And what I mean by that is it's like you're using a fountain pen and enjoying a fountain pen, but you don't have to worry about some of the problem points of a fountain pen. You know, it's cheap, it's easy to use, like the writing is not quirky, it's consistent. So you get all those like ease of use features, but then you are missing some of the things that make fountain pens so much fun. So for $11, $12, it's actually a really great pickup. I've enjoyed using it a lot. I think I'm gonna put this converter in there, which is gonna move, these things sell about for $6. So total package is like $17, $18. Puts it right in the realm of this Pilot Metropolitan, which I think in almost all ways is a better pen. It's got a full metal body. I don't know if the nib is actually any better. The nibs feel pretty similar to me, but it's a little bit classier of a look, and it is a full metal body. That said, I really like the Kakuno. I think it's a lot of fun to use. I wouldn't say it's like a great everyday carry pen or anything like that. It's just a nice entry-level fountain pen. So yeah, any questions, comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching.